Good morning, everyone. We will start with today's session of engineering mechanics. This is the lecture 3 of the engineering mechanics of your online lecture series. So today we will start with the actual syllabus, that is the module number 1. So during the last class, we have seen the introduction to the syllabus and overall syllabus content. So the engineering mechanics has two sections. The first is the statics and second is the dynamics. So the first, that is static, the meaning is it is a branch of engineering mechanics which deals with the effect of the forces on the bodies which are at the rest. And the dynamics means it is the branch of engineering mechanics which deals with the effect of the forces on the bodies which are in the motion. So your entire syllabus is divided into two sections, static and dynamic. So you have 3 modules from the static and 3 modules from the dynamics. So today we will start with the first module, that is from the static. So your module 1, so this is the syllabus of the module 1. So the content in the module 1, it has 3 sections. The section 1, it is the system of forces. In that we will study different systems of the coplanar forces and non-coplanar forces. Then principle of transmissibility, resolution of forces. So this is the part in the section 1. In the section 2, we have resultant calculation, then resultant of coplanar and non-coplanar system, moment and couple, and last distributed force system, that is UDL and the UVL. And the third section, which deals with the centroid calculation of the composite laminas. So we will see this one by one. So the first section, it is nothing but the system of forces. So by the definition, what is meaning of system of forces? System of forces is a collection of forces and the couples acting on an object. So in a simple language, we can say a system of forces is a term used to describe the group of forces. So here you can see in the figure, the first figure where a mass M is free falling under the action of gravity. So the force acting on this mass M, it is only the force of gravity. That is nothing but the weight force. So in this case, only one force is acting on the system or on the mass. Okay. Now in the second figure, where one object is moving under the action of force, it has some velocity and it is accelerated motion. Okay. So the forces acting on this mass, as you can see in the figure, there are a number of forces acting. The first one is the F1, that is 10 Newton. Then second is the weight force, which is acting in the downward. Third force is the normal reaction, which is offered by the surface. Fourth is the friction, that is opposition given by the surface to the motion of this block. And next is the one external force, F is equal to 2 Newton, which is acting at some angle with respect to horizontal. Okay. So these complete forces, they constitute a system. Okay. So if there are two forces or more than two forces in the system, then you can say it is a system of forces. So I hope this concept is clear. What is meaning of system of forces? In a simple language, system of forces means it is the group of the forces. Okay. So for that, the requirement is there has to be minimum two forces or more than two forces. Then we can call this as a system of forces. So here you can see a simple example for the system of forces. The two persons are sitting on a bench. So each person has some weight. So we will represent this weight as a 50 kg and 60 kg. So these two forces, they form a system of forces. Okay. So to support these two forces or two person, the supports of this table will offer some reaction. So I will show the reactions. So here R1 and R2, these are the reactions offered by the surface to the applied forces of the weight of this two person. Okay. So these all forces, they form a system of forces. So this is one example for the system of forces. Now the system of forces has been classified into two categories. The first category is coplanar force system and second is the non-coplanar force system. And again, this coplanar force system and non-coplanar force system is divided into concurrent forces, parallel forces, and the general force system. Okay, so we will see this one by one. What is meaning of coplanar force system, concurrent force system, parallel force system, and the general force system. So the first type, it is the coplanar force system. So the definition for coplanar force system is, if all the forces are acting in a single plane, then we can say it is a coplanar force system. So you can see two examples. In the first example, 4 persons are pulling one stone by using cables. Okay. So tension in each cable will lie in a single horizontal plane. So this will form a coplanar force system. In the second example, you can see the forces are applied on a circular ring. Okay. And all these forces P 600 Newton and 1500 Newton, they are lying in a single plane. Okay. So this is called as a coplanar force system. If the forces are lying in a single plane, then we can call this as a coplanar force system. So this is another example where we have 5 forces, F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5. Okay. And all these forces, they are lying in this single plane. So this is a coplanar force system. So this is another example where a board is supported by 4 cables, as you can see in the figure. Okay. So these are the cables. These cables are connected with the wall, that is a fixed support. Okay. So the tension in this cable, that is cable 1, 2, 3, and 4, will lie in a single plane, that is the plane of this board. Okay. So we can call this system as a coplanar force system. So you can see here how the forces are acting. So these forces are nothing but the tension in each cable. So it is directed away from each point. So I hope this concept is clear to you. What is a coplanar force system? Now the second category for the system of forces, it is the non-coplanar force system. So by the definition, if the forces are acting in a different planes, then we can call the system as a non-coplanar force system. So you can see here in the figure, the F1, that is 10 Newton, it is acting in this plane. Okay. Then here 5 Newton force, it is acting in this plane, that is second plane. Okay. So all these forces, they are acting in a different planes. So this is called as a non-coplanar force system. Now the subcategories of these coplanar and non-coplanar forces, the first one is the concurrent force system. So the definition is, if the line of action of all the forces passes through a single point, such force system is called as a concurrent force system. So here you can see F1, F2, and F3. These 3 forces are acting on a rigid body, which is shown in the figure. Okay. And the line, that is imaginary line passing from the forces F1, F2, and F3, all these lines will meet at a single point, that is the point O. Okay. So this is called as a concurrent force system. So the requirement for the concurrent force system is, line of action of the all forces must meet at a common point, then it will become a concurrent force system. In the second example, you can see 2 forces F1 and F2 are acting on a hook. Okay. So the line of action of these forces F1 and F2 will pass through a common point, that is the center point here. Okay. So this will form a concurrent force system. Now next category, it is the parallel force system. So by the word, you can imagine what is meaning of parallel force system, and you can see in the figure. So some forces, this is W1, W2, W3, W4, acting on a bench. Okay. So all these forces they are exactly parallel to each other. So such force system where the line of action of all the forces will be parallel, it is called as a parallel force system. Now next category, it is the third category, it is the general force system. So what is meaning of general force system? If the forces are acting at different points and in the different directions, then such force system called as a general force system. So here you can see this is one rectangular block, okay, and some forces are acting on this block. The first one is the F1, which is acting at this point. Then second force F2, which is acting here. Third is the F3, F4, and F5. So all these forces, they are acting at the different locations on the objects and in the different directions. Okay. So such force system, we can call this as a general force system. So I hope this concept is clear to you. What is meaning of general force system? So the necessary for the general force system is the number of forces will act at different locations and in the different directions. Now the next concept in the force system, it is the principle of transmissibility. So what is meaning of principle of transmissibility? A force being a sliding vector continues to act along its line of action and therefore makes no change if it acts from different points on its line of action on a rigid body. Okay, so you can see here in the figure. So what is meaning of principle of transmissibility? As you know, by the concept of force, the force is a vector quantity. Okay, so as force is a vector quantity, that means when we represent a force, we will need a magnitude and the direction of the force. So suppose I have a force that is a F bar, which is equal to 10 Newton. So here 10 Newton means what? It is only the magnitude. So this F bar is equal to 10 Newton. So this 10 Newton, it is nothing but the magnitude of the force. So how we can define the direction? So to define the direction of the force, we will need the angle of the force. So I will write here theta is equal to suppose 45 degree. So this is the representation of a force vector. Okay. Now force I can represent by using a diagram. So suppose this is x-axis, that is the first quadrant, and this is your y-axis, and one force which is acting at the origin. So suppose that force is acting at an 45 degree with respect to x-axis. So here theta, it is equal to 45 degree. Okay. And the magnitude of the force, I will write here, F is equal to 10 Newton. So this is the complete representation of the force vector. Okay. Now refer this principle of transmissibility. So what is meaning of principle of transmissibility? Suppose the force which is acting on a rigid body. Okay. So consider this is one rigid body and I am applying a force on this rigid body. So this value of the force F is equal to 10 Newton. So what is meaning of line of action? So first we have to understand what is a line of action. So the line of action, it is nothing but the imaginary line which is passing through the force in the direction of the force. So as this force F is equal to 10 Newton, it is acting along positive x direction. So if I draw one imaginary line in the same direction of the force, So this will called as a line of action of that force of F is equal to 10 Newton. Okay. So line of action means what? It is the imaginary line which is passing through the force along the same direction of the force. And we can extend the line of action for an infinite distance on that rigid body. Okay. Now the principle of transmissibility is a sliding vector continues to act along its line of action and therefore makes no change if it acts from the different points on its line of action. So this part is important, different points on its line of action. That means if this is a rigid body, so concept of rigid body is if we apply the force on that rigid body, then shape of that object should not change. So this is called as rigid body. So suppose if I apply the force at this point, suppose this is the point P, okay, then I can transmit this force along this line of action at any different points. So I can show the force here at the point P, or I can show the same force at some intermediate point. Suppose this is the point M. So I can show the force at this point, or I can show the force at this point. Suppose this is the point O. So along the line of action on the rigid body, we can show the force at any location. Still, the effect will remain same. So this is called as principle of transmissibility. Okay. So you can see here. Suppose we have one rectangular object. It has some mass m. Okay. And I am applying a push force. Suppose this value of force F is equal to 10 Newton. And this is the line of action of that force. Okay. So I can represent same figure like this. So as the force in the first figure, it was acting at this location. Suppose this is point 1. I can transmit the same force at some different locations along the line of action. Suppose I want to represent the same force at this point, that is the point 2. Okay. So we can represent the same force F which was acting at point 1. In the second figure, we can represent the same force at point 2. Still, the effect will be same. So the force effect in both these diagrams is same. Only if you observe this force from the left side, it will appear as a push force. And in the second figure, if you observe this force from the right side, it will appear as a pull force. Okay, so that is the only difference. Otherwise, in the calculation, this effect will be same. So I hope this concept is clear to you. What is meaning of principle of transmissibility? In a simple language, we can say along the line of action. So this is the line of action. Okay, we can represent the force at any different location. So you can represent this force F 10 Newton at this point, somewhere at this point, that is point 2, or we can represent the force at the right side. Okay. Now the next part, it is the resolution of forces. So from this concept, that is the resolution of forces, we will start with our actual mathematical work. So what is meaning of resolution of forces? So you can see here the definition. The resolution of force implies breaking the single force into two components, or we can say two parts, such that if components combine together would have the same effect. Okay. So the resolution of forces, you can see here on the figure. So this is the rectangular coordinate system, and we have the first quadrant in the rectangular coordinate. So this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. Okay, and one force acting at the origin. So the value of force is F is equal to suppose 20 Newton, and the direction of the force we can represent by using angle. So here angle theta, suppose it is equal to 30 degree. Okay. Now by the definition, what is meaning of resolution of force? It is the breaking the single force into two components or two parts. That means if you want to resolve this force, then we have to break this F is equal to 20 Newton into two components. Okay, so these two components, one will be along x direction, that will be called as a x component. So I will write here these two components, meaning is we have to find out the x component, and then along the y axis that will be called as a y component of the force. Okay, so how to find out this x component and the y component? So for that we will use a simple trigonometric. So this is the force. So the value of force is F is equal to 20 Newton. Okay, this angle, it is equal to 30 degree. Now we have to find out the x component, that is along the x axis, and the y component of the force. So imagine we have broken down this force F is equal to 20 Newton into x component. So its x component will act along this x direction. So this will be the x component of the force. So we will represent this x component by Fx. Okay, and along the y direction, the component will be Fy. So this will be y component, that is the Fy. Okay. Now to find out what is the exact value of this Fx and this Fy, we have to use the trigonometry. Okay. So we will complete the right angle triangle. So you can see here, suppose this point, that is the origin. So this is point O. This is point M. And the last point of this force vector we can consider as a point P. Okay. So this will form a right triangle OMP, where one angle is 30 degree. Okay. And this angle is 90 degree. So we have to find out this adjacent side. So this adjacent side, that is side OM, is nothing but the x component of the force. Okay. So what is the value of this x component? So we will write OM, which is nothing but the x component, that is Fx, and that is equal to, so this Fx by trigonometry, it will be F cos 30. Okay, where F is the distance OP. Okay, so we can write this OP into cos 30, and OP is nothing but the force F. So it will be F cos 30. So this is the value of the x component, that is the Fx. So by this calculation, we have got the first component which is acting along the x direction. Okay. So is it clear to you how to find out the Fx? So you can give the comment in the chat box if you have any doubt component. Now we will try to find out the y component of the force. So for the y component, so this is the original force system where force acting F is equal to 20 Newton at an angle 30 degree. Okay. Now we have to find out the component along the y axis. The first component that was along the x direction. So this was Fx, and by the trigonometry, we got Fx is equal to F cos 30, and that is nothing but the value of F is 20 cos 30. Okay. So this is the value of x component. Now for the y component, just construct another right angle triangle like this. Okay. So this is your point O. This is the point P, and consider this point where angle is 90 degree as a point M. Okay. Now in this right angle triangle, triangle OPM, this is F is equal to 20. Okay. We have to find out this component. So this is your y component, the component which is acting along the y direction. Okay. So we call this as a Fy. So the value of Fy, that is nothing but the distance OM, which is equal to y component, that is a Fy, and that is equal to, now you can use the trigonometry. This angle is 30 degree. So this angle will be 30 degree. That is alternate angles. Okay. Now we have to find out the opposite side in this right angle triangle. Okay. Where the diagonal has value 20 Newton. So for the opposite side, we can use the sine. So this opposite side, that is OM, it will be OP is the diagonal into sine of 30 degree. So this is your y component. So OP is nothing but the 20 Newton, or we can say it is the initial force F into sine 30, and that is nothing but the 20 sine 30. So this is the y component of the force. Okay. So our x component, that is Fx, it is equal to 20 cos 30, and y component, that is Fy, it is equal to 20 sine 30. Okay. So is it clear to you how to resolve the force? This is our right angle triangle to find out the x component. This is the force, that is F, which is equal to 20 Newton. Okay. This angle is 30 degree. And this component, so this was the point O. Suppose this point is M and this point is P. This is 90 degree. We are interested in distance OM. So distance OM is nothing but the x component. Okay. So as 30-degree angle, it is given with respect to OM. Okay, so it will become adjacent side in this right angle triangle. And as you know from the trigonometry, for the adjacent side, we use directly cos theta. And for the opposite side, we use the sin theta. Okay, so fx here, it will become OP cos theta. And as OP is 20 Newton and theta is 30, so it will be cos 30. So you can use directly formula for cos. So what is cos theta? Or in this case, what is cos 30? It will become OM divided by this OP, that is the diagonal. Okay, so from this OM, it will become OP cos 30. So this is the same value, OP cos 30. Okay, so is it clear to you why we are considering cos and why we are considering sin for the y component? So this resolution, it is based on the cos theta formula and sin theta formula. So I hope there should not be any doubt for using at least cos theta and sin theta. Now in the second case, I will just change this angle. Okay. Now consider a second force, first quadrant only, and one force is acting at the origin. Suppose this value F is equal to 50 Newton, and this angle with respect to y-axis, it is given as a theta that is equal to 30 degree. Okay, and now we have to find out fx and the fy. So what will be the value of fx and fy? So x component will be, first we have to show the components. So this will be your x component, that is along x direction. So this is the fx, and the second component here along the y direction. So this will be your fy component. Okay, so now in this case, your fy component is the adjacent component to the given angle, that is theta is equal to 30 degree. Okay, so your fy will be cos theta and fx will be sin theta. Okay, so we can write fy, it is equal to, initial force value is 50 Newton. So fy we can write f into cos theta, that is nothing but the f cos 30 degree. Okay, and your x component, that is fx, it will become f sin theta, and it is nothing but the 50 sin 30. So this is your x component. Okay, so now you can see what is the change in the last problem and this problem. So in the previous problem, the force was acting in the first quadrant only, but the angle that was given for this force, F is equal to, suppose it is 20 Newton, it is with respect to x-axis. So suppose this was angle 30 degree. Okay, so in that case, your x component was the adjacent component. Okay, what is meaning of adjacent component? It must be adjacent to the angle. So we can write fx is equal to f cos 30, and this y component, that is fy, it will be f sin 30. So y component will be opposite component, and in this case, as this angle it is given with respect to y-axis, so your y component, it will be adjacent component, and x component will be the opposite component. So you have to remember, for the adjacent component you have to use cos theta, and for the opposite component you have to use the sine of theta. Okay, so adjacent means what? The angle must be given with respect to that component, that will be the adjacent component. Okay, so is it clear to you how to resolve force? Okay, so we will consider the force resolution in all different quadrants, that is first, second, third and fourth quadrant. So I hope this you have written this in your notebook. So I will erase this. So now we will see the resolution of forces. In the rectangular coordinate system. That is XY coordinate system. Okay, and the sign convention for the components. That is sign convention for the x component fx and the y component. The meaning of sign convention is when fx and fy will be positive, and when we have to consider these components as a negative. So this is called as sign convention. So this is useful, positive sign and negative sign, in the calculation part. Okay. So the first we will consider a force acting in the first quadrant. So the force acting in the first quadrant, we have already discussed in the last example. So I will draw that again. So this is your first quadrant. So basically, rectangular coordinate system, we divide into 4 quadrants. So you can see here. Okay. So this is your positive x-axis. This is positive y-axis. This is negative x-axis, and this is negative y-axis. Okay. And this is the origin. So this will become first. This is second quadrant. This is the third quadrant, and this will become the fourth quadrant. So now, for this case, we consider a force is acting in the first quadrant. So we have only selected this first quadrant. Okay. So this is the origin, that is the point O. This is positive x-axis, and this is positive y-axis. So if a force is acting at this point like this, and it has some angle, that is theta. And suppose the force value, that is the magnitude, it is the F. Okay. Now we want to resolve F along x-axis and along y-axis. So we can break the force along x component, so that will become Fx, and along y component, so that will become Fy. So Fx we can write as, in this case, theta is given adjacent to the x-axis. Okay, so your Fx component, it will become the adjacent component. And always remember, if it is an adjacent component, we have to use the cos theta. So we can write here Fx is equal to F force into cos theta. Okay, so this is the x component. For the y component, now y component, it will become the opposite component to the angle theta. Okay, so we will write Fy is equal to F, that is the force magnitude, into opposite means it is a sine theta. Okay, so I hope this resolution is clear to you. Now we have to consider what is the sign convention. So what is meaning of sign convention? If the component of the force is acting towards the positive x direction, if the component of the force is acting towards the positive x direction, then its sign automatically will be positive. Okay, so when we use this component in the calculation, we have to take this component as a positive sign. Okay, now y component, it is acting towards the positive y direction. So again, y component will be positive. So for Fx, we have to consider plus F cos theta, and for Fy, we have to consider plus F sin theta. So both the components in the first quadrant will be positive. Okay, so Fx positive and Fy positive. Now consider the second quadrant. So we will separate out this second quadrant. Okay, so I will write here force acting in the second quadrant So this is the positive y-axis and this is your negative x-axis. And this is the origin, that is the point O. Now just imagine a force is starting from point O, and this is the direction of the force. Suppose force value is F and direction, it is defined by the angle theta. Okay, now we have to resolve this force along the x direction and along the y direction. So we will draw the component, one along x direction. So this will be Fx, and second along the y direction. So this will be the Fy. Okay. Now here Fx, we have to just check whether this angle theta, it is adjacent to the x or adjacent to the y-axis. So as the angle theta is given with respect to x-axis, means your Fx component will be the adjacent component. So directly you can write Fx is equal to F into cos theta. Right now I am not considering the sign. I am only writing what is the value, that is the magnitude. So Fx we can write it is F into cos theta, as it is the adjacent component. And Fy, this is the opposite component. Okay, so angle here theta is not given with respect to y-axis. So I will write Fy is equal to F into sine theta. So is it clear to you how to write the component fx and fy when force is given in the second quadrant? Now we have to consider the sign convention. So for the sign convention, you observe the direction of this fx. So fx, it is acting towards the negative x-axis. Okay. So as fx is acting towards the negative x-axis, we will consider this force as a negative in the calculation. And this fy, it is acting towards the positive y direction only. So in the calculation, we will consider this as a positive. So fx will be minus f cos theta and fy will be positive f sin theta. So is it clear to you force resolution in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant? Okay. Okay, so today we will stop here as we have next lecture, engineering chemistry.